Pubco Studios in Oklahoma City. You're watching the Press Row. Press Row is brought to you by Cox High-Speed Internet. I'm Jenni Carlson here with Barry Tramel, and it's time for our weekly 5 and 5 segment where we have 5 topics, a minute each, a bell at the end. All right, Barry, let's get right to it. Let's start with OSU. What's their biggest concern versus Stanford?
Well, I would say, since you're covering the game, if you wear that shirt, the receivers, Brendan Whedon's receivers will be blinded by the sparkle.
Oh, come on.
OSU's biggest concern versus Stanford, I think, is ball control. Stanford's got the big-time quarterback, but they don't throw it around 50, 60 times a game.
True.
They run the ball. They play possession football. It's possible Stanford can shorten the game, really limit the OSU offensive touches. I think that's the biggest concern.
Yeah, and that's true. Andrew Luck, a guy that everybody, obviously for obvious reasons looks at as a big-time passer. 30 attempts is a lot for him in a game at Stanford. And, for Oklahoma State folks, they look around and say, hey, 45, 50 passes would be okay with us. So I think just really being able to contain the big plays that Andrew Luck can make, I think that's going to be OSU's biggest concern. But Barry, coming off that Bedlam game, heck of a defensive performance. Any reason to think they wouldn't play great defense against Stanford? I think they're going to be good against Stanford defensively.
The run defense against Oklahoma was very good. Of course, the Sooners didn't test them a lot, particularly when the game mattered. So I think that run defense is a key.
All right, our next topic, now it's OU's turn. OU's biggest concern against Iowa, Barry, what is it?
Oh, I would say keeping everybody in line. Most times you want to get lined up right, but Sooners line up right. They just, they're tweeting nonsense. They're breaking team rules, getting suspended. This has been a disastrous season off the field for the Sooners in terms of focus. Mm-hmm. And then you go to a bowl game where you didn't want to be, a bowl game that's beneath the standard you had set. I think focus is a problem. The Sooners clearly a better team than Iowa. Iowa's not very good by Big Ten standards. The Sooners have a big talent edge. Do they have the focus?
Yeah, I think motivation is going to be huge. And in a lot of these lesser bowl games, your non-BCS bowls, motivation, to me, that wins a lot of these games. What team is most motivated to win the game? I mean, I think for a lot of teams, they see it as a treat. They don't really see winning as of paramount importance, which seems crazy. But Barry, if OU loses this game, 9-4, that looks a whole lot worse than 10-3. I think the motivation should be there. Will it? Who knows? We don't know yet.
Well, and and a lot of young guys playing, you should want to be impressed for your coaches. So, it is a big game, but will the Sooners be ready?
All right. What about this one? Is Russell Westbrook's contract a concern?
Yes, it is. I think Russell's going to re-sign. I think he's going to sign an extension. I think he's going to be a Thunder for another 4 or 5 years. But it's always a concern when you see the atmosphere we have in the NBA now, where everybody's trying to get to a bigger place. Everybody's trying to get to LA, New York, or Miami. Mm-hmm. No one's even talking about getting to Chicago. They got a great team, a great franchise, great city, but nobody even wants to go to Chicago. They want to go to New York, LA, and Miami. Can Russell Westbrook hold off and not be snared by that temptation?
He's said the right things. He's said that he wants to be in Oklahoma. He's said that he wants to be here. I guess we only can take him at his word, until he proves us otherwise. And Barry, you wrote about this, the fact that the way that the lockout ended and everything being compacted together, it really has kind of messed with the re-signing of guys. This may draw out a lot longer than people want, but ultimately, I do think the Thunder is going to re-sign Russell Westbrook. May have to do it for a lot of money, though. This guy, if he doesn't sign with the Thunder, somebody's going to pay him a ton of money, Barry. So they're going to have to pay him pretty well to get him to stay here in Oklahoma City.
Yeah, Russell Westbrook has elevated his play to where he's upset the Thunder pay scale.
Yep.
There are going to have to be some adjustments made.
All right, not Kevin Durant, man. It's some pretty good money. All right, what about this? Best Christmas movie of all time, Barry. What do you got?
I got to go with Home Alone. I love Home Alone. I'm afraid.
Wait a minute. I figured you were going to say something from like 1930.
Well, I like old school, but Home Alone's pretty good. I love Home Alone.
Favorite part? What is it?
My favorite. Well, I got to tell you, the part that I'm sort of like George Costanza. The part about the old man. The part of the old man gets me every time. But my favorite part is when he's in the house alone and he stages his own Christmas party with people going around the train in front of the Christmas tree, look like they're dancing. I think it was It wasn't Jingle Bell Rock. It was dancing, rocking around the Christmas tree. What a great scene. Love Home Alone.
I love when he foils the robbers and has them, trip on stuff.
Yeah, Joe Pesci and
great.
Daniel Stern.
Iron in the face and all that stuff. Yeah, that's good. All right, I'm not going with Home Alone. I'm actually going to go with an old movie. I love White Christmas. I also love Holiday Inn. They're essentially the same movie with slightly different themes, but I watched White Christmas start to finish last night. I love it. It is old school movies. It's singing, it's dancing, it's a crazy plot line, of course, stuff happening that would never happen. Of course, I guess that's most movies, but I love White Christmas.
You're a singer and a dancer at heart, I think. Give us an old soft shoe routine right here.
That's all right.
Coming next week on the press row, Jenni Carlson singing and dancing.
I'll wear better shoes.
We're promising.
I'll wear better shoes. All right, back to our last topic. Is Tim Tebow the second coming, Barry? This is a good one to end on.
I think it's an incomplete sentence. I mean, the second coming of what?
Well.
There are some people that think he's the second coming of Christ. I'm going to say no on that one. The second coming of John Elway. I'm going to say no on that one. But the second coming of a quarterback who invigorates a city and transforms a franchise and succeeds when no one thought he could, he might be the second coming of that. He might be a guy that does things you didn't see coming at all.
I don't get it. I watch him, and even when he's leading his team to game-tying drives, game-winning drives, you watch things, and you're still sort of wondering, how is this guy quarterbacking the NFL? Mechanically, the throws are still unbelievably off, and yet he hits the target. He'll run for yards. He clearly inspires his guys. Barry, this is like major leagues. John Elway playing the role of the mean owner who doesn't want this guy to succeed. It's like a movie right there on the field.
Well, and it's also like another movie, Angels in the Outfield. Yeah. Some angel on a shoulder is making the other team do some weird stuff. Christian Ponder threw a late interception. Nick Novak miss a field goal. My man Marion Barber running out of bounds. Some of these things are unexplainable.
Yeah.
I don't explain it. If you're a Bronco fan, just enjoy it.
Angels on the boundary line. All right, that's it for 5 and 5. Thanks for joining us, and be sure to stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in New York.